In getting better, there are no thoughts about getting better. In consciousness, there are no thoughts at all. There are only thoughts when you're unconscious, when you're in that fallen nature.
Well, my whole life, Jesse, has been nothing but a lie. I can see that now.
Yeah, Greg, welcome to the show.
Hey, Jesse, how are you this morning, sir?
All is well, sir. How are you?
Thanks for taking my call, and happy belated birthday.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it.
I just wanted to call and tell you about the thoughts, part of this ego death, and how bad it's been. But I can see through doing the silent prayer and how much he's given me peace through that. Because I've spent the last 2 weeks, like that guy said, your ego goes way deeper than you think it does.
Yeah.
And it's just sitting alone in that house, your thoughts driving you crazy or trying to. Body pains, like you said, feel like you're going to have a heart attack. It's rough body pain, it just...
Yeah.
But once you relax in, I've had headaches I could tell you about for days, and I laugh about it a little bit now because I just, God showed me I got to go through this. And the only reason I know I do is because I can see the truth of it. And every time I think it gets bad or I think it's gotten better, then I'll go to bed and I've stayed on the silent prayer every morning, every night. And I notice the more I do that, the more he reveals to me. The stuff he's revealing to me now is coming in so fast I can't even comprehend it most of the time. But I don't. The thing now is you try to let that go. Like you said, don't try to hang on to the thoughts of the truth. Just see it and then let it go. And then if you do that, you'll live fine. If you catch yourself caught up in your head trying to remember or what you saw or what God revealed to you, then Satan just drives you crazy again.
Even the idea of I think I'm getting better or I think I'm getting worse are all thoughts, and even those thoughts are lies. So when they tell you, because I've talked to several people who, when they don't feel pain, they're just feeling what they think is free. Satan would tell them, "Oh, you're getting better. You haven't had pain in a while." And even that's a lie, because the moment you believe it, he's going to smack you down. So because in getting better, there are no thoughts about getting better. In consciousness, there are no thoughts at all. There are only thoughts when you're unconscious, when you're in that fallen nature.
Well, my whole life, Jesse, has been nothing but a lie. I can see that now.
Yeah.
And I can see that most of my problems was I was trying to control everything. Everything. I was trying to control how my day went, who called me, and how my feelings were. And once you can see how evil your mind is to make you think you're in control of something and then you believe it, if you could get rid of the mind, people could live free, but it's the mind that drives people nuts.
A mind is a terrible thing to save.
It is and now that I see Satan like I do, the more I see him, the harder he's trying to... I can hear him inside of my head telling me, "I hate you." You can hear how mad he is. Mad.
Yeah, because he doesn't want to lose your soul. He doesn't want to depart from you. But if you stay with it, he has to depart. He cannot live in the light.
Jesse, let me ask you this real quick. Why does Satan hate God's children so much? Why does he hate us so much?
Because he hates God.
And he hates God because he wants to be God.
Yes.
Okay. I'm just trying to get an understanding of it because, like you said, the more you understand something, the more you'll become free of
yeah.
You know what I mean? I was talking to my dad last night, and I said, "Dad, when I got with these women that I was getting with, not getting married and doing the stuff I was doing wrong, why didn't you tell me? Did you think I was doing wrong?" And he said, "Yeah." And I said, "Well, why didn't you tell me? You wouldn't listen anyway." and I said, "Well, could you imagine God sending Christ to earth and him say, 'Well, I ain't going to tell him the truth. They ain't going to listen anyway.'"
Right. That's a good point, man.
And he said, you know, Greg, you're right. And I said, no matter what, he knew people weren't going to listen to it, but he still told them.
That's right. It was up to them to accept it, but at least he told them.
And that's the clarity of the mind when you start getting rid of. All my life's been nothing but fear and anxiety. I mean, that's all it's been. So now, when I find myself living in the moment and doing what I'm supposed to do, I find my mind tries to drive me crazy because it's telling me something's wrong because I'm not nervous.
Yeah. Every human being who has, and they all do until they overcome it, who has anger has fear. And every human being who has fear has anger. Anger is fear, and fear is anger. When you let go one or the other, you'll be free from it.
The hardest thing I had to learn to do, Jesse, real quick, the hardest thing I had to learn to do was to realize I was nothing.
All egos want to think that they're important. That's why they defend the ego, because they think that false self is important. It's all ego. It is the nature of the devil. And so when that ego dies, we have a new nature, and that nature is of God. And so once the heart changed from hate to love, then the love, which is the light, is of God, would fight that not you nature, which is of the devil, and everybody think it's their own, but you have to overcome that too if you want to be free.
So what you're saying is the more you do the silent prayer and God reveals more truth to you, that'll set you free from thinking that you are this anger. And because, like you've told us before, and I hear you say it all the time, if you didn't believe any thoughts, you would never have a problem.
That's right.
So if you're riding down the road, if you're riding down the road in your car, like I'm riding down the road running my business today, and you think about right now where you're at, everything's okay. But as soon as your mind starts thinking about the next house you go to and the next house, and it jumps ahead of where it's at, it starts tormenting you.
Yes, absolutely.
That's the hardest thing to come over. It is.
Well, and you overcome it just by seeing it. That's all you have to do. Just
and see, that's the hard thing, because all my life I've tried to control everything. So not doing anything, like you said, is hard to me, because all my life I thought I had to do something. You know, I thought I needed to react or try to control something. The more control you try to have over something, the deeper into it you get.
Amazing. Well, that's what egos do, man. The harder you try, the worse it will get. You are digging a hole for yourself. You're going into darkness. Of ourselves, we can do nothing, and of ourselves, we know nothing. And that's the last thing the ego wants you to know. That's why the devil has convinced people that they have a free will. And because they have been convinced they have a free will, they're trying to will their life to be what they think they want it to be.
Absolutely.
And every time they will it, they're just getting deeper into hell.
You get deeper into it because you're following Satan.
Instead of letting go and letting God's will be done.
You know, when I first started listening to you, Jesse, because I was in that fallen state a lot more than I am now. I'm coming out of it, but I got a long way to go. But I used to say all the time, man, this guy's the best, and I was looking at it as it was you doing this.
Right.
But the more God's opened my eyes and I realize what's going on, I realize it's just the Father and Jesse leading him.
It wouldn't happen if it wasn't for him. He's the one doing it, not me. I wouldn't even know all this if he was not causing it to happen. I'm just the body. That's all it is.
Well, I appreciate all your words, man. Keep up the good work. I mean, every day I listen to you. Some days I don't get a chance, but most of the time when I listen to you, there's something else that the Father uses you to say that I'm like, wow. Well, really?
It's amazing, man.
It is.
And it's in you. That's why you see it. He's allowing you to see it. Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
How your kids? How are you doing with them?
My youngest son, all he wants to do is be with me. He tells my ex all the time that I just want daddy. And my oldest son and my daughter, they just don't want nothing to do with me.
How old are they?
My oldest is 9, and my daughter is 5.
And the younger one is what?
3.
What made you feel bad when you said that?
Just knowing I can't control it. You know, you get I think, like you said, that fathers love their children, and to know that you can't do anything about it. There's freedom in that, but there's also knowing that they've got to go through what I'm going through right now, because I can see as long as they're with my 2 exes that I had, I can see that they're constantly unconscious. You know, I can see the anger in the kids. I can see they're not happy. I can see they're constantly watching iPads or something to keep their brains going. And I only know this because God showed me I did the same thing, because my mom was so mean and treated my dad the way she did. And once, like you said, once I judged her, I became angry. So I constantly tried to stay distracted with women or porn or whatever I could grab a hold of to take my mind off of what I needed to face.
And so you feel bad that that is happening to them and you can't do anything about it?
I feel bad that I can't be there to at least teach them. I know they got to go through it, because I know that like the truth's done me. You got to go through the pain in order to see it. So I understand that, and I want them to have that pain so they'll open their eyes. But it just is hard because I can't. They don't want anything to do with me, so I don't have any chance to. I can tell they love me. You can tell they're reaching out for me, but their moms have turned them against me, and they don't know how to handle it. So that's tough as a dad.
Do you think that if you didn't put thought into it, you would be feeling bad about it?
No.
So why put thought into it then?
Because I hadn't overcome the thoughts completely.
Yeah.
I still try to bring myself back to the present all the time. I work all day, Jesse, and there'll be sometimes I'll get just this aching, nervous, tight chest and all that, and I'll realize I'm in thoughts, and I'll bring myself back, and then that melts away again. And I'll ride maybe 2 or 3 or 4 miles, and all of a sudden it comes back, and I realize I've drifted back in thoughts, and then I bring myself back. So I just keep doing it, knowing that's what I got to do.
Yeah, practice keeping your thoughts, your body where your mind is, and eventually you start catching those thoughts early before they overtake you. And once you catch them, they cannot make you feel any kind of way at all.
Absolutely.
Are you originally from Kentucky?
No, I'm from North Carolina.
Oh, did you live in Kentucky for a while?
No, I was a deputy sheriff and drug agent in North Carolina, and then I moved to Florida and started my own pool company.
Oh, okay. Nice. All right, thank you, man. Call me again.
Yes, sir. Have a wonderful day, Jesse.
All right.